Hello everyone. Thank you for joining. So we're expecting more people to join. So we'll wait for 2-3 more minutes. At the same time, I have launched like a questionnaire. If you can see that one, feel free to answer that. And for the background of this webinar, that will be a webinar with our WhatsApp partners. So Sept from WhatsApp will also join us later on to explain more about like lead generation and entry point. And in the second part, I will have a demo about Wati, how we can facilitate that and automate your workflow as well. So yeah, and at last, we will have a Q&A session. If you have any question, feel free to leave your question in the Q&A. So you should see on the bar, there's a Q&A button. Then you can write your questions there. So let's wait for 2 more minutes. Hello. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so let's wait a bit more before we start. I see people are gradually joining. So do you guys receive the WhatsApp notification that we sent you about this meeting? That's awesome. Seems like it's like a really good reminder way sending by WhatsApp. Awesome. Thank you for joining. So I see a lot of you that if you would like to try the lead, you are now adding to your website mostly. Okay. Okay, yeah, we are starting in a bit. Okay. Yes. So yeah, we have Sept here, just join us as well from WhatsApp. So yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for everyone for joining. And I will explain a bit about the agenda of this webinar. Let me share my screen first. So for this webinar, it's our honor to have WhatsApp side, Sept joining from the WhatsApp side. And for the agenda today, first of all, let me introduce Sept, and later on he will be presenting about the entry points and also some tactics to generate leads. And later on, I'll have a quick demo on Wati, how we can handle and automate your workflow. And at last, of course, we reserve time for our Q&A session. If you have any questions, please feel free to type in the chat or Q&A. We will have a dedicated time to answer the question. So thank you so much, Sept, for joining. And I'm like Crystal. Let me introduce myself. So I'm the customer success manager in Wati. In a lot of YouTube videos or emails, or even like if you raise a ticket to Wati, you may see me before. And Sept is our partnership manager on WhatsApp. So for our communication, development, and especially really excited feature on WhatsApp that's implementing on WhatsApp API, we always have the meetings together to see how will be the best for our APAC user or global user to utilize the WhatsApp API. So for the upcoming sessions, we would like to invite Sept to introduce a bit more about the entry points. And now I will pass him the time to share the presentation.
Great. Thank you, Crystal. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Really exciting to be here. So as Crystal kindly introduced me, my name is Sebastian Spazinski. I work on the WhatsApp partnerships team based out here in Singapore and work with many of our strategic partners, such as Wati. So as today, as part of the agenda today, I'll be running through entry point optimization and some of the ways that your business can think about on how to leverage some of the entry points to drive further engagement. I just need to share my screen. So if Crystal, you can help me there. Great. Cool. Cool. Let me know if you can see my screen there. Sorry. Yep, fantastic. All right. Oh, getting a bit ahead there. I'm not sure why this is overly sensitive. I think it's okay. I might have to get out of the full preview view. Anyway, okay. I'll work with this. This is fine. So why I guess to start things off. So why is it important to talk about entry points? And there are a number of critical areas where we would suggest for your business to really focus on. And the first part is around the pre-purchase stage of the customer journey. So this is an area where you can share information with your customers who want to learn more and more about your product and service and might potentially want to communicate with your business. And we're seeing significantly more and more of this happen, particularly across APAC and overall on any of the business messaging services that we offer. For the second part, the next stage is really around the purchase stage within the customer journey. So, helping your customers choose items, browse through them, be able to make that purchasing decision. and obviously send customers to later on any purchase updates as well. The third part is around customer care. This stage obviously exists all across the customer journey, but effectively this is an area where providing post-purchase support for products and services, but also for pre-purchase support as well. So, if there are questions around, if warranty is included on your particular product, or what is your delivery time, these are certain areas that are quite critical across the customer care journey. So if we think about what are the key considerations before planning out on how to best optimize your entry points across the customer journey, the first question we generally pose is what behavior do we want to encourage here? And so that as a starting mark should really help you think ahead of how to plan out your entry points. Certain examples in this area are, generating pre-purchase product focused engagement. So, I'll run through more details on this, but this could be running a clicks to WhatsApp campaign that could, directly initiate conversation in WhatsApp on a specific product itself versus just landing on the homepage. Another example could be deflecting customer care. So if your call centers are being overflooded and inundated with phone calls, a good customer care experience would be to potentially divert that and have that handled by some sort of automated agent or through chat as well over WhatsApp. The next consideration strategy to take into account is where should we place entry points? And so there's a whole range of areas where entry points can be integrated across the customer journey. And I'll run through most of these examples here that we've seen as best practices and successful in the market for you and your customers to potentially adopt here as well. And last but not least is what's the call to action what call to action should we include in here? And so, we definitely recommend testing many of the entry points and seeing what really works for your customers along the customer journey. And that could be examples. So, we find our call to action across our social media pages more effective than, let's say, some of the QR code packaging that we have on products that might not be as discovered as they may be on your social pages. So last but not least is should we use deep links? We can run into more detail here, but this is something that platforms like Wati and other providers can offer, where deep links can automatically trigger a pre-populated message and a given flow or instance within a messaging experience, and that obviously can ties back into being more, I guess, laser focused on effectively what the customer is trying to communicate over WhatsApp with. So let's dive into some of these entry point examples. So the first one to start with are social media entry points. So the first one that we view here is some of the organic entry points placed on, say, your social media pages. And the example here that we use is a Instagram account. And this could be effectively including a whatsapp.me link with your actual WhatsApp business phone number. So when tapped or clicked, this would effectively initiate a WhatsApp conversation. And so, social media pages, having social media pages being, definitely a property where your customers would be fairly engaged on, would be a good idea to include some of the persistent click to chat links that you can find in this example. Another entry point that we'd suggest on social media are on Instagram posts. So, if you're posting an Instagram post, whether it's video or text or image, you can also include text there. And this is an example here from Bankman Dairy, where they included in their video post an actual video that demonstrated how customers could engage with Bankman Deary over WhatsApp, and also included it in their text where it actually explained that they can contact this number over WhatsApp. The downside to Instagram posts effectively is that in the text, you can't actually include links. Hence why, using video or images in your content are a more effective way. And that's why, coming back to the previous example, with the persistent link to chat link is only available on the Instagram page itself. Another example on Instagram is the profile description. So we've seen a lot of businesses use the text space or the description space of their Instagram account to actually list their WhatsApp phone number. This has been a fairly effective entry point, organic entry point, particularly across Asia Pacific and Latin America. Another example is the use of stories. So on Instagram profile pages, your account has the ability to create story highlights. And so we've seen examples where, businesses and brands have used a story highlight specifically for WhatsApp. And so, you can use video content in there, image content as well, and basically explain, what your use case is on WhatsApp and how best to connect with them. This is a really great creative way of leveraging that real estate space on your Instagram profile. Moving on to Facebook. So similar to the Instagram post, however, with Facebook posts, you can actually include links. So this could be a unique link that could open up a WhatsApp conversation, and obviously include a very strong call to action in that text space as well. Facebook page links as well. So the Facebook pages enable you to have the ability to customize some of the page buttons, and one of those is actually WhatsApp. So this is where you can actually include your WhatsApp phone number. Customers or people on the platform on your Facebook page who click on that phone number, particularly on mobile, will then open up not particularly on mobile, but would actually initiate a conversation on WhatsApp. And that is a very effective and seamless experience that we've seen a lot of brands leverage across Asia Pacific, which has been a very easy entry point, organic entry point to use that can be set up pretty much today. Other social media platforms like Twitter. So we've seen really good examples as well, where simply a whatsapp.me link included in the text, whether it's a way to redeem a discount code that then initiates a conversation on WhatsApp to a use case that's powered by a chatbot that helps users actually redeem a discount code. And effectively with whatsapp.me links, the character limit with, say, social media platforms like Twitter, enables you to actually embed those in the text of those posts as well. Moving on to websites. So this is more examples of organic entry points here. So a great place to actually consider putting an entry point on your website is on the Contact Us page. There's already customer intent to connect with you further and your business. So, examples that we all traditionally see are email or just phone numbers to contact them. A very quick way would be to implement either a whatsapp.me link with your phone number, or even a QR code. So if customers are visiting your website, on desktop, they can always scan your QR code with their mobile device. And this is a really easy, simple way to initiate conversations back into WhatsApp to help customers connect with you over messaging. Continue here as well. This effectively emphasizes that, if you do have those entry points on the Contact Us page, you also have the ability to actually expand on, what is the expected behavior once a customer clicks or scans the QR code on your Contact Us page and initiates a conversation. Ideally customers already have a high intent at this stage to connect with you. And so if you're offering the option to connect over WhatsApp, what are they expecting once that conversation is initiated? Are they going to be speaking to a chatbot? Are they going to be potentially speaking to a live agent? These are certain ideas that could be included on this page as well. Further on websites. So we've seen a number of examples, particularly in the e-commerce space, where websites have actually included an entry point on the actual homepage. Once again, it's simply placing a link, whatsapp.me link, or even sometimes QR codes as well. But effectively, this is, on any website, probably the primary real estate space where most of the traffic lands. And so if you are looking to drive some of that traffic into WhatsApp, then that would be a great consideration to make. And obviously, one of the suggestions as well is to optimize your website metadata, including WhatsApp customer service or any of those naming conventions rank fairly highly in across all the search engines as well. And that's also another tactic to help you drive more conversations into WhatsApp as well. More examples around websites as well is, website header or footer or floating elements. And Crystal, please correct me here, but there are certain features that can enable from the Wati platform on this respect as well. And even if not, there are also some of the previous ones that I mentioned that can help enable your website to offer these features. So this is a very simple example where there's a floating WhatsApp icon that sits on your website, and so that kind of floats around across any of the web pages, and effectively, if it's clicked on, that would create an immediate initiate a conversation on WhatsApp as well. Conversation starter buttons. I mean, with starter buttons, depending on your design of your website, this helps you basically make the entry point more prevalent, and use some of the WhatsApp branding as well in there. So these starter buttons are obviously supported by the whatsapp.me link. So effectively, a whatsapp.me link is wa.me/your phone number. And so that can be embedded into any of these buttons across your website. Okay, so now moving on to organic entry points for telephones. This has been actually a great feature that many, given the pandemic situation and certain industries being flooded, call centers being flooded by customers, this has been a great feature to help alleviate some of that pressure from call center. And so with IVR deflection, this helped drastically reduce some of that pressure on those call centers where, people waiting to speak to a customer service agent or over the phone were able to press a certain, press 3 in this example, to be deflected to WhatsApp. And this is proven to be more and more adopted as more businesses are actually seeing the value in this. But for any of those businesses out there with call centers, and there are certain requests that may potentially be solved through a WhatsApp service, whether it's a chatbot, could easily be deflected through IVR deflection. Another example here is around missed calls. So, you know, in the instance where missed calls are made, you can return an automated call, depending on the service or platform you use, to then effectively redirect to WhatsApp. And that can obviously continue the conversation and act as an entry point in this instance, where, you know, certain customer service requests could be completely alleviated through a automated chatbot on WhatsApp. So that's another example of an organic entry point. Okay, so we've covered some of the organic entry points, and now moving into the paid side. So these are some of the paid entry points that you may wish to explore on social media. So the first one are Facebook ads that click to WhatsApp. These are effectively ads, as you can see in this screenshot, where they are fed into newsfeed. And so it's the same format that you would see at any ad in newsfeed, whether it's, you know, you can add text and an image there, and then obviously a call to action as well. So with the call to action, you know, a user can tap or click send message, and this would effectively initiate a conversation in WhatsApp. And depending on what your use case is, this could tie in very nicely into the click to WhatsApp ad unit. Another I guess platform where this can be extended into is Instagram as well. And so Instagram also offers ads that click to WhatsApp. These are ads that appear in feed, and similar, you know, exactly the same with Facebook, where you can actually drive paid traffic and initiate conversation into your WhatsApp account. And so good examples where we've seen this be quite effective is where businesses have been able to leverage the power of the Facebook ads platform and reach audiences where they could, say, drive conversation into WhatsApp, and, you know, whether it's qualifying leads or leading them into a chatbot use case, has been quite effective, at least as a discovery or starting point within the customer journey. Another great example where we've seen this, particularly in the last couple of years, take off are around influencers' social media posts. So whether it's influencers talking about whether they, whether you know, talking to their audiences that they can connect with them or with this business over WhatsApp, and even including it in the text of the post itself, as a great and effective way to drive more conversation into WhatsApp. So if any businesses out there already doing this, it could be as simply as adding your WhatsApp phone number in there, or putting or asking the influencer to put in a plug and say that, you know, we've got this service over now on WhatsApp, you know, scan this QR code, or you know, contact this number using this phone number listed in the text, in the post, I should say. Now for paid entry points in traditional advertising, you could also argue this as organic entry points, but given that, you know, most of these properties here that I'll run through, there is a paid element in there. So the first one is around product packaging. I mean, this is a great way a great entry point to initiate WhatsApp conversations. Some great examples of where we've seen, you know, where Samsung in Southeast Asia used QR codes on their products, where, you know, customers who would receive their products and wishing to register their warranty would simply basically scan the QR code of the packaging or of the product itself and initiate a warranty chatbot, which would actually help them in a few responses, basically confirm their warranty application. Even from a marketing perspective as well. So, you know, if there are certain, you know, marketing activations powered by a chatbot, a simple QR code on any of the packaging could help as an entry point to initiate those conversations and obviously fulfill some of those marketing objectives as well. Out of home, we see quite a bit of this given in our own region here in APAC, but specifically in Indonesia, and then also in Latin America and Brazil, where a lot of out of home advertising, they leverage either QR codes or simply adding the WhatsApp phone number. QR codes is probably the more effective way to go about it, given that it can quickly be scanned. And that helps initiate conversations to expand off, that particular advertising that may be on the billboard, or for customers to find out more. I mean, there's massive reach here and exposure, and is obviously quite prevalent as a traditional format for marketers, and could simply be integrated with a QR code to help, almost digitize that experience on WhatsApp. Search engine ads as well. So for those running search, another great way, and there's some good examples here where we've seen from LG, Uber, Volkswagen, where search ads are optimized to include WhatsApp links to drive conversations into WhatsApp. And this is a great way to build more, not only awareness, but also that, WhatsApp is supported by some of these brands or by your own brand itself, and that customers can easily receive information over WhatsApp, where they already converse with family and friends, and now they can converse with brands in the same way. Unstructured supplementary service data. So this is more applicable to the GSM side, but effectively you can actually include an entry point with WhatsApp here. So an example here would be in the menu option to include chat with us over WhatsApp. Once again, redirecting to the platform for any further questions. And this is a great way to increase awareness and move volume, I guess, from some of these other networks into WhatsApp as well. And then last but not least is PR and media news articles. I mean, print is obviously around and will continue to be around, and definitely a very effective, effective format to branch into and extend some of these entry points. This example was from Bank Mandiri. Simply an article mentioning how they launched a chatbot on WhatsApp. And not only the article explaining what the chatbot service it was, but also parts in there where there was a QR code on the print where people reading the article could scan and actually go into the chatbot experience itself. So I hope some of these examples can be helpful to your business and to your customers as well. But effectively, to summarize this, there are multiple entry points that can be leveraged. And the way we kind of define those are between organic and paid. And coming back to my first initial questions was really to really think about, like, at what point do we want to include these entry points in our customer journey? It ultimately comes down to that, because we want to drive a good value exchange between people on the platform communicating with businesses, hopefully in the same way as they do and converse with family and friends. So thank you very much, and over to you, Crystal.
Thank you, Sept, for the really insightful entry point presentation. So, I guess it's really enlightening to see all the possible entry point that you can redirect your client to WhatsApp. So now I'm going to share. Sept, would be great if you can convert me to the host so I can share my screen. Yeah, so for the next part of the presentation, it will be like a short demo, and also there will be interactive sessions, so get your phone ready as well. And now I'm going to share my screen to present a bit how Wati can follow up from the entry points on WhatsApp to help your customer and even automate your process on following up and also collecting the inquiries from client as well. Right, so yeah, can you all see my screen? Right. So remember, if you have questions, please feel free to type in the Q&A. Later on, we'll have the dedicated Q&A session to answer your question. So now after the entry points presentation by Sept, I'm going to go into a presentation, a short presentation about how you can retain your customer with the help of Wati. And following that, we'll have a quick demo and an interactive session that all of you can join as well. So first of all, it's great that, like you have like all different ways, different entry points. So as mentioned, like Instagram, Facebook, and website as well, which like just now during lunchtime, I was like scrolling Instagram and I also like, find some products and like, now it's like creating a good marketplace that I can click to chat with the vendor on Instagram as well, or even Facebook or from other marketplace. So that's great that you already get in touch with your customer or you already catch their attention. Following that, how you can actually convert them or even like get their follow with them and convert them for the purchase. So you can either communicate with them with the bot assistant or with your human agent. So essentially, just now, Sept mentioned that you have different entry points. Apart from Facebook, Instagram, the click to WhatsApp function, you can also create your customized QR code and your WhatsApp link. I saw some of you ask in the Q&A how you can create your link or like your customized page that is like click to WhatsApp. So for the link, that is super easy. Like following what like we mentioned just now, the link will be simply in the format wa.mb/the including the country code. And you can also customize your previewed message. So later on, we will have this exercise to show you how actually that works with Wati with the previewed message that will trigger the auto keyword reply. So as mentioned, like, with a lot of entry point, no matter on social media, on advertisement, SEO, or the paid ad, or even like physical product scanning QR code, the key thing is you would like to have a centralized customer management. So you will be able to convert your customer, have a conversation, and later on retarget them as well. And therefore, with using the entry points, you can actually convert people that click on your ad, that saw your post on Instagram, which they are only seeing you as a user account on the social media. However, once they click to you from the entry points, you are having a conversation with this phone number that you can later on have them in your CRM, or also retarget them in the future and convert them as a loyal customer and put it into your customer database. And also, targeted automation will be able to build. For example, if you have a post from Facebook that you click to send message to them on WhatsApp, and you will be able to refer it back to the post which advertisement they click on as well. That will be a really important data for you to also track which post actually can convert your customer to WhatsApp to click to you to have a conversation as well. So last one I mentioned here is that a free conversation starter will be offered in 2022. So for the free entry points, actually from Facebook entry points, if you click to the ad, when you enter the conversation, that will be a free conversation-based message that you click in when your customer start the conversation with you, and it's actually derived from Facebook. And also, apart from that, we'll be able to build an interactive feature as well. So I see some of you, you are current Wati user. Some of you actually haven't started using WhatsApp API yet. I will have really brief on the right to show you what you can do on WhatsApp API. So as you can see on the right, the message, like some of the questions you have been mentioning about the buttons. So the great thing is with the WhatsApp API, you'll be able to send this kind of interactive message. Your client, when they click the WhatsApp to you, they no longer need to type to you, or like the in the past, WhatsApp is text-based. So the bot will be type 1, type 2, type 3 for the related choices. Now they simply need to click the button. So essentially for the button, the reply rate is 40% better than the text-based one. So it will encourage your customer to talk to you, to reply to you as well. And also you can offer the menu to make them to make it easier for your customer to interact with you. And also with the help of Wati, different features. So for example, the automation you can build easily on Wati, and you'll be able to manage all your WhatsApp contact within the platform and see the reporting as well. And of course, if the bot is not enough to answer your client question, your agents can always jump in as a team to assist of the client. And lastly, once your customers show the interest of certain product or of your service, you can always send them template message to retarget them as well. So let's get your phone ready. We are now going to show you an experiment or a quick demo on Wati. So first of all, as we mentioned, a lot of the client come in from the entry points, how we can set the automation to facilitate all the incoming message, and later on in the flow builder, how we can also integrate in and consolidate the data into one place. For example, the Google spreadsheet. Now I'm going to go to okay, I'll click this link and go to an entry point. Okay, so this is like the Wati platform. If you're a current user, you're pretty familiar about this one. And if you're a new user, you will see that in the Wati platform, you will see the tool on top. And this will be the future number that if you use the Wati, which this one is our demo account, and I'm logged in as Crystal. And now I am going to use the link, the pre-filled link. Let's say the entry points demo. Later on, I'll have the QR code for you to scan to do this experiments to me, but let me explain a bit how actually the whole thing works. First of all, this will be the entry points. If I continue to WhatsApp, that will ask me to open the WhatsApp, or if you scan in your phone. So you will see the pre-filled message in the chat session. If I click send right here, that will trigger the auto message later on. So let me go back to Wati. So what happened after the auto message is triggered? In the automation, you will see that you can set the auto reply. So from the keyword, you can set your own auto reply. And here, the entry points demo will be one of the keywords. And next one, you can choose what to reply to the corresponding keyword. So let's say in the entry points demo, I would like to use the flow. And the flow is essentially built from the flow builder. Okay, 1 second. Thank you. Some notification. Let me assign it back to my Wati demo. Yeah, that shall be assigned to the board first, because I was doing some demo before. Right, so in the automation, what did I do? First of all, I use the entry points as a keyword to trigger, which is the entry points is from the click to WhatsApp link. Secondly, for the flow, I can easily build a flow without any coding. Here, entry points demo. And I would like to show you what I built behind and how it will work for your client or now for you to do this test. So first of all, in the entry points demo, let me click this again, click to chat. Okay. So you will see that this message pop up. Welcome to Wati, choose your language. Of course, you can configure the message, the content, the languages, etc. Okay, so what happened here in the entry points behind in the flow? Same thing. I have the message sent out. I use the template message as one of the reply. So you have the button that your client can click to reply as well. Then after the template, I have the button to click on. I'll have different questions. So for example, if I would like to collect the information from my client, I ask about their name, what are they interested in, email address, etc. And then I'll pass to a Google spreadsheet. So what happened in the Google spreadsheet? Here, you will see like later on, I would like all of you to try as well. So I black all this part to protect your information. So now I have the first row that's a test before. My phone, my name, the product I'm interested in, or like the email. So you can configure the question here. So let's try it. So let's say I answer the question here. You will see that popping up here. Let me make the screen smaller so everyone can see. So first of all, I follow the flow. I answer this question. I want to answer in English. My name. And then I'm interested in Wati and entry point. And my email address, hello@wati.io. So once I click it, we'll finish the last step of it. And on the left, you will see this new row is add. And of course, I want to send you the document as well for your information. So like, this is like, the beauty of it. You simply need to set up a bot without any flow. And from the entry points, no matter where they click from. So for example, you can click from Facebook ad. Here, you can set the button. So that will like, also change the WhatsApp link. Similar to what we have done here, the WhatsApp link, entry point demo as a previewed message. So from the entry points, no matter from Instagram, Facebook, just a previewed link, or even the chat widget from your website, scan QR code, then in Wati, you can simply set up a no-code flow, integrate with your Google spreadsheet, and you can collect the data on Google spreadsheet as well. And after that, if you collect all the data, then you can also send the message from Google spreadsheet by using our WhatsApp message sender, which you can download from a Google Marketplace as well. Then you can send a message, trigger the message via Wati to the client here. So now I would like all of you to join and try these entry points. On the top, you will see the QR code. You can simply scan it here, and you will be able to start the entry points demo. So at the same time, when you are scanning the QR code, joining this flow as well, I will explain a bit how it works. So in the flow, you see this, the flow that I built. What did I use inside? Is that first of all, I used the flow builder to build my own flow. I ask question from my client. So basically, it's the data I want to collect, right? Let's say the name, the email address, or what product they're interested in, or their inquiries. So you can use the question to configure your the thing that you would like to collect from your client. Or like it can be like a pre-order form, or like are you satisfied of our service, like a satisfactory survey. And then like for the template here, in the first message, you will see that I offered a button for you to click. So actually for the button, that will be a template message. And of course, I can update the attribute from there in the Wati CRM as well. And lastly, you can collect all the data, how you can pass all the data to Google spreadsheet. That will be from the integration. So I'll leave like 30 more seconds for you to scan the QR code. You simply need to use your phone, go to the camera, and then you can scan on it and open it in WhatsApp. If you have like any issue with the QR code, you can also message to this number. 852 is the country code, and you will able to add this as a contact, and then you just need to type entry point demo if you have any issue with the QR code. Okay, I see people are gradually adding to this. Right. So now, if all of you finish, I will go back to the Wati platform screen. Right. Let's see. A lot of you have been joining, trying as well. That's really good. Yeah. So as you all can see, it's how easy that you simply need to complete the flow, and the data will restore nicely in a Google spreadsheet. Similar, if you use like the survey form, then the data will also be converted into an Excel format as well. So it is how easily you can keep your client in WhatsApp. They don't need to click the link outside of WhatsApp, and then you need to get them to the survey form and then come back. You can simply complete the flow, complete your survey or form or like questionnaire within WhatsApp, within Wati, with the no-code solution. Right. Yeah. If any of you are still scanning. Yep. Awesome. So for the live demo, apart from it, for all the incoming messages that you see, I have like received a lot of message now. You will see the messages coming in team inbox. And let me click on my Wati demo one. So what you will see in the team inbox is that, of course, I know all the data will be nicely placed on the Google Sheet. That it's like the entry points demo that I'm showing. And in Wati, of course, like similar to WhatsApp, you will see all the past conversation here when you scroll up. So here is like the start of the entry points demo, and the bot reply, the template message, what is the client reply as well, that will be shown here. And as I mentioned, the bot cannot solve everything. Like, it will be like a great one to automate some of the process. And at last, if like the human need to jump in, you can always help here. You can assign it to different people in your team. Okay. So now, of course, I will assign it to myself. I'm logged in as Crystal, as you can see here. Then I can reply to the message as well. Okay. So the good thing is you can differentiate who is replying, whether the bot is replying or myself. And of course, I know for the end user, they will see the message and they have no differentiation between the bot or like which agent is replying as well. So that's a good thing. You only have one number representing your company, and your end client will only see your company number. So as a quick summary, thank you so much to participate with me in this activity. I see we have like more people trying this as well and keep joining. So thank you so much, Sept, for introducing a lot of different entry points. That's really insightful, that you can think about like whether to add the chat widget on your website, which Wati has the chat widget for free as well. Then you can start using that and copy and paste the code to your website. And secondly, for social media, paid advertisement and also physical advertisement, or even we flag it from a calling number, that will work as well. And after you enter from all these different platforms, you can use Wati to automate the follow-up for you as well. So now we will jump to the Q&A session. So I see a lot of you have been actively asking questions, and we will select some of the questions to answer within this question. Right, let me check the question right now. So one of the clients asked here, on the topic of using Instagram or Facebook to promote an entry point, since a user can actually use DM us directly, what is a distinct advantage with this integration give us? So I will say, as I mentioned, once you convert the conversation to WhatsApp, you will be able to engage them as in the phone. So you can have a WhatsApp conversation with them. And actually, after you have the phone number, as I mentioned, you can send them targeted message as well once they show interest about your product. So you will be able to engage them within the same conversation, and you will also be able to identify as a in your CRM. Whereas, compared to Facebook, Instagram, that is great. You can engage them within the platform. That's also really useful. However, if they are not online, if they log out, they may not be able to see your message anymore, or it's the dropout rate will be higher compared to WhatsApp. That is an ongoing conversation. So that would be, I think, the biggest differentiator in this point.
Yeah, I could add I guess our perspective here as well is ultimately it really comes down to the customer. So if the customer's generally already on one or the other of the messaging platforms and ultimately conversing with family and friends and other businesses, the decision to whether they wish to converse over WhatsApp will be very much customer led. And so, there are various messaging platforms out there, outside of just Instagram and Messenger and WhatsApp as well. And so I think offering, being almost omni-channel agnostic is probably important, and giving the customer the option of the channel that they prefer to converse in, or message your business in. And there's obvious factors there as well in certain markets where one channel versus another might be more prevalent. And so I think it's important for a business to at least have options for your customers to be able to choose from. And that obviously extends to all the entry points that we discussed, but more specifically to your question around Instagram and Facebook. I mean, you could just as easily include all 3 entry points to Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp on your website or your contact us page. I think that's just really important to just be more customer centric to help answer that question. And I hope I did.
Thank you, Sept. So another question for you, Sept. Just now you mentioned using WhatsApp Me link on Instagram or Facebook. The client is now doing that, but when they try to change this to the WhatsApp API number, that doesn't allow me, as it wasn't a WhatsApp business account.
I'm not sure I understand the question, but ultimately, it doesn't have to be a business account to be able to include in a WhatsApp.me link. I mean, you could do this with your own personal WhatsApp number. So you could do WhatsApp wa.me/your phone number, as long as you include the country code. And you can do this with obviously business phone numbers as well, whether it's if you're on the API and using services from partners like Wati, or even if you're using the business app, you could leverage the WhatsApp Me links in any way.
Thank you. So I also pull up this page. So essentially what we are talking just now is that for the link format, for this number here, you can use any number. So either it's like your personal WhatsApp number, the business app number, or the WhatsApp API number, which is like the number you use on Wati as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So another question is coming to the green tick. So with changing Wati number, remove the green tick. So the answer is, if you're changing the number, the green tick is actually following the number. You can apply for the new number again if you would like to use the green tick.
Yeah, and I might also just add to that as well. So as of recently, we launched the ability to migrate phone numbers from between WhatsApp business accounts. So if you had a WhatsApp business account with a certain partner and then chose to create a new use case using a different partner, you would be able to migrate those phone numbers. And so effectively, everything would be migrated seamlessly. The only thing to pay attention to is that if there are template messages in the source WhatsApp business account that were of low quality, those won't be migrated over to the destination WABA. But that's specific to template messages. As for green ticks, phone number display names, and obviously the messaging limit tier as well. So we have a tiering system for each phone number that would be migrated across seamlessly.
Okay. So I see a lot of questions about the least message as well. That is like pretty exciting feature that offered by WhatsApp that changing the user experience. So I would like to, could you add on more on that part?
Yeah, so product with the product list messages, we're currently testing this across a number of brands and partners. We're looking to likely launch this feature in this half as well. So stay tuned.
Yeah. So for the least message that we showed just now as well, that will be available soon. So one thing to highlight is just now when we go on the interactive session, you see the buttons, right? That is from the template. And you can only add up to 3 buttons, but with the least message, you can actually add up to 10 options. So it gives you more flexibility to add on your products or catalog, for example, or different types of service, for example, I don't know, shop location, returning, different options for your client, building within your Wati as well, or your WhatsApp API account. And with those that will be launching by the end of the month on Wati. That will be available feature. But that will definitely change the user experience on WhatsApp as well. That's really exciting to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if we have more questions. We have limited time here, but let's select a few more questions.
I think there was a question there, Crystal, that I noticed was around just around messaging limit tiers, and so how does that all kind of work, and why are certain phone numbers of low quality and therefore unable to send more messages? So I guess for everyone on the webinar, ultimately, every phone number has its own quality rating. And the quality rating is basically determined by user sentiment. So if users or people or customers that your business phone number on WhatsApp is sending messages to, and those messages those customers didn't give consent to receive those messages, they have the ability to report and block those phone numbers. And so the more customers or people on WhatsApp who report and block phone numbers ultimately feeds into the quality of your phone number. And so if your phone number quality is of low, then our product mechanism effectively will either downgrade you to a different messaging limit tier or upgrade you as well. So it's really important to factor in that that your customers are giving consent to receiving messages, and that there's a clear opt-in to receive those messages. Because the last thing you want is one of your customers receiving and being spammed by your business and not knowing why they're receiving the message, which they could ultimately report and block, which will then affect you for sending any messages down the track as well. And all of this is basically put in place to drive a strong value exchange between your business and obviously people on the platform itself, and keeping the integrity of the platform itself as well.
I agree, because if you receive a lot of spam message on the platform, like email before, if you receive a lot of spam email, you actually won't even pay attention for the marketing email, or even if it's value adding email as well. So definitely do not want WhatsApp to change into one of these, going to this situation. So yeah, I'm aware of time. So a few more questions before we end this webinar. And if you have any question, I understand, you guys are really excited, having a lot of questions. So feel free to scan the QR code on top. That will redirect you to the WhatsApp support channel of Wati. And also, if you have more questions about technical integration, feel free to email us at hello@wati.io with your code or technical question. Then we will have our team helping you as well. So another question is about the buttons of the on the template. So can it just redirect to one number, or that it is possible to redirect to multiple number on the template button?
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, each of the buttons can be customized in any way. It's ultimately a link, or you can include a deep link as well. So that can be completely customized and support some of those I guess the ask here.
So to show you how it works on the button, I would like to give a quick tour here. So if you would like to create a template message, you can simply add the button in the footer. And in the footer, you can add either call to action or quick reply. So you can either redirect them to a website. Of course, here is again like where you can put the click the WhatsApp link with your preferred message, or like based on the product. So for example, if you're sending a campaign out, let's say Christmas, so then you can click the WhatsApp and then it's like Christmas campaign, for example. Then you can redirect them back to WhatsApp again with the preferred message. Or if you mention about phone number, you can change it into a phone number as well. So it can be 852 and then the Wati number as well. So it's where you can configure the button. And you can also have like both of them together. As Sept mentioned, that you can put both the phone number and the website as well. And I see another question about the dashboard, like what you can measure in the API. So actually, if you're using the direct API or either using Wati, there are a lot of more data that you can measure. Compared when you're using the business app, it is really hard for you to calculate how many chat you have, how many messages you read or reply or exchange with your customer. So the good thing here is you can track the message volume on Wati, either the template or total message or the support session message, and also your operator performance if you're using for customer support purpose, the response time, resolution time, and number of chat that your team has been answering, send and receive the message, and also the chat duration. Those will be the valuable data that you can track as well. And in broadcast, you will be able to track the campaign you send out, how many of them they are delivered to the customer. So let's say if I launch a campaign to send to 1,000 people, how many % of them received it actually? How many of them read and reply your message, and you can measure the campaign performance as well. So I see some of you ask like what kind of analytic you can track, and this will be some of them. Of course, if you're using the API directly, you can customize your tripod and your report as well. Okay, so thank you so much, Sept. Thank you so much for introducing a lot of like entry points that is supported by WhatsApp as well, and also helping us with a lot of question insights that about WhatsApp upcoming development.
Awesome, yeah, and thank you so much for having me. I guess it would be good to also just remind everyone that WhatsApp Business API is still in a limited preview beta. So we're continuing to add new more features and tools. And partners like Wati have helped adopt some of those new tools and features as well. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to connect with the Wati team. Also, we have a ton of resources available online to help answer some of the questions that I know we haven't really had time to answer here. And so we apologize for that. But the Facebook developer documentation on the WhatsApp Business API should be able to detail a lot of the questions that I've seen here. Otherwise, once again, please reach out to the Wati team and they'll be able to help you with any of your requests. So thank you so much for having me, and all the best to all.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us as well. So for all the other questions, again, please scan the QR code on top. So you will be able to reach out to the Wati support team. And also, regarding features and WhatsApp API asks, feel free to send us an email. Oh, this side, sorry, hello@wati.io. We'll have our dedicated team to answer your questions. So thank you so much, everyone. I guess that will be the end of our webinar. Stay tuned of our Wati channel. We have the YouTube channel, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook as well. So if you would like to have more information from us, please feel free to follow us and let us know your question. We will keep in touch. Thank you. Yep, so my team just sent out the link to YouTube as well. Thank you everyone. I will end the meeting now. Have a great day, have a great evening.